Simeon was a well-put-together, handsome 6'2" man who had his own business, or so Queen thought. Because he had his own apartment with an office in it, and lived in one of the best buildings in their area, Queen was excited to meet a man like him. Simeon seemed to have everything together, or so Queen believed. Queen introduced Simeon to her best friend, Velvet. "Simeon, this is Velvet, my best friend," Queen said. Simeon replied, "Nice to meet you, Velvet." Some time passed, and one day, Velvet was at a clothing store when she saw Simeon. They were both heading to the same restaurant for lunch, so they walked over to the Crown's restaurant across the street from the clothing store. They decided to sit at the same table, exchanging conversations. As they talked, they gazed into each other's eyes and realized their connection was more than just talking. Velvet felt embarrassed, knowing she shouldn't feel this way towards Simeon, especially since her best friend Queen was getting ready to marry him. One day, Velvet and Simeon fell into bed together, unaware that Queen was coming to the house to surprise Simeon with a gift for their upcoming vacation. As Queen used her key to enter the house, she heard laughter coming from the bedroom. Queen thought to herself, "That sounds like a female's voice." She quietly cracked the door open and saw Velvet on top of Simeon. Without either of them noticing, Queen quietly walked back out of the apartment. After the breakup, Simeon kept calling Queen, but she refused to answer. It had been a couple of weeks when Simeon called again, and Queen finally decided to answer. "Hello," Queen said. "What is it that you want? Why do you keep calling my phone? It is over between us." Simeon replied, "I know it's over between us, and I'm so sorry for what I did, but my business is not able to get off the ground. I need your expertise." Queen told Simeon to get the business information from her best friend Velvet, whom she found him in bed with. Simeon said, "I didn't mean for you to find out about Velvet." Queen responded, "Well, you and Velvet can be together now." Unfortunately, Queen had not been told that Velvet had left Simeon because he had no business. Both relationships were lost due to Velvet's unfaithful commitment to her best friend, and Simeon, Queen's ex-fiancé, had no commitment knowing he was marrying Queen. Queen told Simeon he would not get her help or expertise and that he needed to go and ask Velvet. Queen then hung up the phone. Velvet knew nothing about business anyway. The phone rang again, and this time it was Velvet's number. Queen thought that maybe both of them were together and trying to pull a prank on her. "Hello," Queen said to Velvet. Velvet replied, "Queen, I'm calling to apologize to you. Although I know you don't want to hear what I have to say, I'm asking you to give me 1 minute of your time." Queen responded, "Your apology is accepted, but you will no longer need to keep my number or call me. Our friendship is over." Velvet said, "I didn't mean to sleep with him. I didn't mean to get involved with him almost from the start." Queen replied, "I've read all of your text messages to Simeon. I realized that you had been setting it up the whole time since I introduced you to him." Velvet explained, "This wasn't something that happened right away. It happened over a course of time." Queen said, "It's no problem, Velvet. I realize that you are not the friend I need. Instead of being my friend, Velvet, you have become my enemy. Lose my number." And Queen hung up the phone. Queen decided to block Simeon and Velvet because she no longer wanted to hear from them. Since Simeon and Velvet did not seem to be able to stop calling her, she would help them by blocking them. If you are enjoying the Sheba Talks the Storyteller, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. At the collaboration 369. Subscribe, like, and comment. Now, let's continue the story. Some weeks ago, Queen met a new guy by accident named Solomon. Solomon was intriguing. He was the guy that caught her crying at the cafe after she had walked in on Simeon and Velvet. Solomon is the one that picked her up off the curve. He embraced her and brought her into the cafe, offering Queen something to eat. Solomon fed her and encouraged her. Queen would soon find out that Solomon was a wealthy man, a man that had a lot of power. He invited Queen over to his business, and she was supposed to meet Solomon around 5 p.m. at his building. Queen called a car to pick her up. As she rode down the streets of Los Angeles, she admired all the beautiful views and heard the cars honking. She saw business people walking up and down the street, yelling, "Get out of the way." She sat comfortably in the back seat of the car as the driver told her they would be arriving at the building in about 10 minutes. 4703 Lakeview Drive, Los Angeles. You have arrived, the driver said. Queen looked up at the building, which had Solomon's Corporation name on it. The building was massive, made of beautiful stone with excellent craftsmanship. The grounds were full of roses and beautiful trees in front of the building, including a golden lion that stood as tall as Queen. She was amazed at the building. She decided to go through the front door, where she was met by the doorman. Queen thought to herself, Solomon's Corporation is written on the outside of the building in big black and gold letters, almost as if it was making a statement. The Solomon's Corporation is here. Queen was intrigued and very impressed. If you are enjoying this She Would Talk Storyteller, subscribe to my YouTube channel at the collaboration 369. Like and comment. Continue listening. Story off Sheba Talks the Storyteller.